It's Rusty Diamond.
Yo, man. Boom, Miss Rusty. Boom, Miss Rusty has set it up. You're not getting the full one today. So if you know the song, you know the song. And what can you do? It's Monday. Monday. This is going to be a lighter week today. I have a pre-trial tomorrow and a trial on Wednesday. So I won't be doing many shows this week. I might just be doing one more on Thursday, and that's it. So it's gonna be a lighter week. So yeah, I'm not in trouble. I just got to deal with some stuff. Some people hit my car a few years ago. I'm still dealing with that. So that's fun. Thank you, Chicago. You got a shout out to Chicago for that one. And yeah, so today we're going to go right into it. I have a special guest here today, as all my guests are special, but this one's special too. So I'm going to bring her on here, right now, right here, right now. We have Tamela Lucus. Tamela Lucus. I'm trying to stall for a second because I mistimed that poorly. And I hope she jumps on here so I can make it kind of less awkward. And otherwise, I'm just going to keep going. And as soon as I hear her hop on, I'll say her name again because, I mean, she's here. So I might just be talking to myself for a second, but she's here. I hope. I just got to get her, and then I can go like this and see if I can go like that. See if that works. But she is here and I have a guest. So you guys, it's Monday. So do the Monday thing. You got to get up and get at it because who else is going to get at it? If you're not getting at it, someone else is going to get at it for you. They're going to take all your fun stuff. You can make Monday cool. Ain't nothing wrong with Monday. You got Monday and you're like, I hate Monday. Change that. Change your mindset. I can't stress that enough. You don't need to have a crappy Monday. You don't need to have a crappy Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Be like, okay, well, yeah, 3 days of the week are good. I think that was 29% is what I found out. 29% of your time you enjoy out of 100. It's not very good numbers. Oh, I lost her again. So hopefully she's going to come back because she's getting the introduction of a lifetime. This is how things go today because she's going to get a great introduction. I haven't received a message from her, so I assume she's going to come back. She maybe just had to change something up, but you got to talk to me for a little bit. So who doesn't like that? Who doesn't like talking to Rusty for a little bit on a Monday morning? And I'm going to bring her in. Here she is again. I'm going to try this again. Right here, right now. It looks like it's connected and she's connected and there she is. And can you give that a turn?
Yeah.
And we got you there. There's Tamela Lucus. How you doing? I made everything difficult this morning. So we got you here though. That's the important part. So
Yes, yeah.
yeah. How's your morning going wherever you are in the world?
It's going real good. It's nice outside. You can hear the little birds talking to each other. So
Wonderful. Whereabouts are you?
I'm in Ohio.
You're in Ohio. Okay, cool. All right. I like Ohio. I was born in Ohio.
Oh,
So
okay.
that works out all right. Yep, born in Cincinnati back
Okay.
a little while ago. But yeah, so let's see. So you are part of the crew, is that correct?
Right. I'm one of the administrators.
Love it. Love it. Every time I get the crew people on here, I'm always happy and it's been good every time. I think you are maybe the 7th, I believe, of the crew. And yeah, every single one of them they've had on. I think I still have 2 or 3 more that I have coming up. But yeah, once I had on, I think 2 or 3. I just kind of gave an open invite to anybody on the crew. So, yeah, whatever you're doing there, keep on doing what you're doing because you're doing it right. So
I appreciate it. With Angela, Thomas Smith, and Hezekiah Walker.
mhm.
Yeah, we got some wonderful people working with us. We're helping them with their podcast, so I'm excited.
So you say Thomas something?
Angela, Thomas Smith.
Oh, Angela Thomas Smith. Okay, I thought there was another person in there. Okay, Angela Thomas Smith. Gotcha. I was like, who did I forget? Who don't I have on yet? Who do I have to write down and book here? But I guess I don't need to anymore. So that's good. So where did you fall into this? How did you get joined in on into the group?
Well, I do my own podcast. Angela was doing her own podcast. And so in 2019, she had a radio station. She still does. She has like various radio stations. And she was looking for some people who had a song out. So I had a single out, and I thought other, singers was going to be on there, and I ended up being the only person. When I say I was like terrified, I think it was an understatement. I was like, where is everybody? But I'm used to it now. And it's funny because she was like, you have your own podcast. Yeah, when you have your own podcast, you're by yourself, you're comfortable, you relax. But then you get on somebody else's, it's different. But I'm fine now. But in 2019, I was like, where is everybody? And I end up being the only person there, but she made me feel comfortable. And we just talked a whole hour about my music, why I start my music. Then she asked me, what else did I do? And that's when we found out both of us were authors. And so then we found out that we have almost a similar, background when it comes to life experience. So God is awesome. He knows how to link people together and just spread, love and connection and networks. So
Yeah, that's great. That's a good way to do it. And yeah, it's like I said, it's worked out pretty well for everyone that's involved. I have, every single person I've encountered, like I keep wanting more and more. And I hope it grows more so I can get more guests on, or start having, bringing more back again second time. But so what was it that made it kind of difficult at the beginning? Why were you kind of I don't know the word you said. You say you were terrified. You didn't say terrified, did you? Or was it something like terrified?
I did. I did, because usually when I would get on people's Zooms or something, I would just be on there for 10, 15 minutes and then go to the next person. Well, no one was there to go to the next. It was just me. And I was like, okay, is she going to keep me on here? And she did for a whole hour. And I was like, but I'm okay now. But at the time in 2019, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to say. But she had a lot of questions and she made me feel comfortable. And so I was fine after that. So, but when you used to just being on there for 10 minutes, it's like, okay, but now I could do an hour or two. Now I'm fine.
Yeah. So were you thinking it was going to be 10 or 15 minutes then? And then you thought 10, 15, and then all of a sudden it's an hour?
Yeah, that's what happened at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, those are always interesting ones when I've had that in a couple different ways, couple different things where it's like, okay, yeah, go 10, 15 minutes. And then, the person after you doesn't show up or they're running late. And it's like, okay, well, you're going to go 30 now. Oh, okay, well, all right. We'll slow it down a little bit here and you change it up a little bit, but just, go with it. And so then what was your reason for wanting to have a podcast to get started? So
well, I started mine in 2017. Is my men stop talking about it. And I just wanted to reach out to people, with the Bible and see how people react, to life. Because sometimes when we go to a church or synagogue, we're taught one thing, but we're not taught how to live outside of the church. So I started bringing people in just to talk about anything, testify, whatever, just to, learn how to live life, comfortably.
And so who was the first person you reached out to be a guest on your show?
Oh, different people that was connected to my ministry, because I was already comfortable with them. And then I said, okay, then I put something out on Facebook. I said, if you're an author, come on here and talk about your books. And people are shocked. It's like, I can talk about anything. I'm like, yes, it's just open. Some people give you restrictions and I think they so used to people asking them questions. I said, well, my platform is an open platform. You just talk about whatever, just be comfortable with what you want to talk about. And I think that some people go, oh my goodness, I can talk about anything. So yeah,
I've had it. There's been a few people who have been kind of hesitant when it's with an open, completely open, you can talk about whatever. And I'm, not going to ask you the same questions kind of you've gotten before 100 times. And some people are really able to just, thrive. And it's, for the most part, I like to be able to book people on that I know I could just be able to talk about kind of whatever with. If we, get into anything, and then, nothing's really off the table, and you never really know where it's going to go. I think that's kind of the fun in podcasting, and that it's not really done so much in other forms of entertainment. I mean, book writing too is kind of the same way. With book writing and being an author, you can do literally anything you want to do, any way you want to do it. Editors may have different ideas.
right.
But so then with your first book, so did you have where'd you find your editor? Was your editor wanting to change a lot of what you
My
had?
editor, I had two editors. One was my pastor and one was my brother.
Oh wow.
Because when I was looking into that and I saw the prices, I was like, I can't afford all those people. It was my very first book and had already paid a publisher in 2015, had already paid them a whole bunch of money just to publish my book, because they had a package deal. Well, in their head, oh, we got this package deal, you can pay this much for the editor and this much for the book cover and this much for the marketer. And they had a whole list of all these people. I said, well, you're going to get rich off of me, and I haven't got one cent from the book yet. Like, that's not going to work for me. And I didn't know any better, so yeah. So did the editor, so it was your brother and your pastor, did they both have kind of the same notes to give you about what was going on with your book? Yes. They knew I wanted to stay. They knew I wanted the tone to stay a certain way. So they guided me through and, changed different ways and said it might sound better this way, but they did not take the essence away. And that's why because I know I have turned other things into other people. When they got finished fixing everything, I didn't know who that person was. I was like, they must be reading about somebody else, because that's not me. I mean, you rearranged my whole book. So yeah, some people they'll take your stuff and just woo.
Yeah, like, okay, well, this is not what I was going for the book. This is not the message I was trying to get out to tell people, or be able to have them be able to relate to something, or And so was it the reason for your book to sort of the same reason as your podcast, to be able to get your message out about how to live outside the church? Is that sort of
Well,
what your book is about?
it was kind of I wasn't even thinking about writing a book. The pastor, she was like, "You always writing. Won't you write a book?" And I was like, "What am I gonna write a book about? I mean," and she was like, "Well, since you raised your siblings, won't you write a book about your mom? So maybe one day they might want to look back and read it, or maybe the grandchildren might want to look back and read it." And I said, "Oh, I never thought of that." So the book is about my mom. But when I got finished with the book, I didn't know it was going to actually be a domestic violence book. I think
Oh,
sometimes we
yeah.
write, you know,
And it doesn't quite, the part that you didn't think was as, I don't know, you write something thinking this one way, and then some other part that's way over here kind of comes out. It's like, oh, okay, well, this is more what I guess the book's going to be about. Wasn't expecting that, but okay, let's go with this. And
yes.
so, was your did your mother get to see the book?
No, my mother left here when I was 20 years old, and that was 32 years ago.
Okay. Um,
Hmm. Yes.
how did the kids, your brothers and sisters, how did they uh take the book?
They were fine with it. It's the aunts and uncles and cousins and different family members. So they was not happy, but hey, this is my story. I'm telling from my point of view. I'm telling from how I saw it growing up as a child. I was in that house. You wasn't in the house when, so I tell it from my point of view. So hey, it's my truth.
So were they kind of upset about that you were, putting her in kind of a not a good light, really, like making her sound less, like to her brother or sister or cousin, what it was? Is that why they were getting upset? Because they didn't want this a story coming out, or what do you think it
Or
was with
fine
that?
that I wrote about the story, but they said some of the details that my mom told me when she was growing up as a child. It says some of the details were different. I said, well, I only can go by what my mom told me. Uh,
Yeah, uh, yeah, you didn't have them really to go off of. They weren't part of the book writing process there. I may have lost you for a minute. Oh, I lost you for about 15 seconds there. So I missed whatever you just said.
oh yeah, I was saying, I said, I wrote down what my mother had told me about her childhood. So I only can go by what she told me. I can't go by what my family members, because a lot of my family members were saying, well, this and that didn't happen to her. I said, well, before she left this earth, she told me this is what happened in her childhood. So I only can go by what she told me.
Yeah, and they weren't saying any of that before you publish it. They weren't coming up to you and, saying, "Oh, by the way, you should, this isn't quite what, happened."
Well,
They're after the fact, and
I didn't even ask them. I didn't even, yeah, yeah.
makes it hard to be able to work with that. And so then when you were writing your book, I like asking this question. So was it, did you write it in like from start to finish, just all flat out, or did you do kind of an outline and then fill it in later on, or did you do some other way of doing it?
I did an outline and then fill it out as I went, try to look through pictures and try to remember. Then I will ask my brothers and sisters, what do they remember? And my younger siblings, they really don't remember a lot because they were very young. My baby brother was 7, my other brother was 12, and my sister was 11. So they were very young. So I had.
Oh, look, moving out on her again. I lost that last part. I didn't hear that last part.
Oh my goodness. I was saying, I had to ask, my sister, who is a year younger than I, the different details, because my younger siblings, they were too young to give me any information.
So did you and your sister see things kind of the same for the most part, or did you have 2 totally different perspectives on what you were seeing and experiencing?
Majority of it, we see the same. Just once in a while, we might see something different.
And so did the ones that you saw something different, did those make it into the book? Or did
No.
those what? Yeah.
No.
Are those maybe ones that might come up for, are you gonna do another book? Or is there other books have you already written?
Oh yes, my son was like, okay, Ma, you wrote one book, some years have passed. What are you going to do next? And I'm like, I don't know. He said, well, you need to figure it out, And he said, what do you like? And he said, start finding groups that you like. And so that's when I got on Facebook and I just typed in books. And all these authors popped up. And I said, oh, okay. And this one author, Vanessa Blackwell, she was looking for other authors. And I said, she was doing a co-author book.
Yeah.
And I just had a good feeling. I'm like, I'm going to join her. And so I got on it, and I'm glad because we became #1 international bestsellers and #1 bestseller author. So yeah, I'm glad I joined. And it was like 90 authors all over the world. So it was amazing. Yeah, I'm just so excited.
So what was it that drew you to her?
I don't know. I just had this feeling like I just got to do this. And there was a lot of people out there that had anthology books out.
Yeah.
I just wasn't feeling them, but for her, I was like, I got a good feeling. So I don't know. I just had a good feeling.
I mean, your good feeling seems to have worked out pretty well, and should probably be watching that good feeling and making sure you know what that good feeling's doing, and follow that one. And so then with that book, so what was your role in the book? What part of the story was your story in that book?
Every author had to tell their experience of grief and how grief affected them and how they survived that grief and how they overcame the grief. And so I had to give my testimony of how when I lost my mother and how, it affected me in my choices in life. And it was good to talk about that, because sometimes people don't ask you, when somebody, when you lose a loved one, they say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but that's it. They don't ask you anything else.
And so was that kind of your first time to be able to get that out and go and tell about your experience with that, and kind of get to unpack what had happened or had
Yes, it was after so many years, because yeah, I explain things to people about how my mother was my best friend. And when she left, I left. I was trying to figure out who am I? Like, how am I supposed to survive? I went into survivor mode because I had to take care of my siblings. And it's because I wanted to take care of them. I wasn't forced. I wanted to take care of them because, when you watch all these different reality shows, how children are separated and you never see them until 30, 40, 50 years ago. I didn't want that to happen to my siblings. And so I said, let me do something. And I prayed. I said, Lord, show me what to do. And he just very vivid. He just showed me everything step by step. And I did what he told me to do. And I got custody of my children. And that was a miracle. That was a miracle by itself. I was only 20 years old when I got it. And by law, you had to be 21.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I was like, look, they got to come with me. I can't put them in the system. I don't want them to go here. We have to stay together. And I begged and pleaded, and I got custody. So I had legal guardianship over them.
And so you're 20 years old, and you now have how many siblings, or I guess children now? How many did you have?
Three to raise.
And so it's your sister who's a year younger than you. Is that one of the three, or is that not one of the three?
No, she was 19, so I didn't have to take care of her. She's
good.
Yeah, she's good. But the ones that's 7, 11, and 12, yeah. And they are good children. They were good children. So I didn't really have a hard time. And it was just, we had some ups and downs, but that's like normal thing. But it wasn't something that I wanted to choke them, and a lot of people said, oh, you did a good job. I said, well, God did it. He showed me, he helped me, So I was just excited about that because I look at some parents today and they struggle, and they look at me and they say, how did you do it? I said, what you mean? You got to pray,
Yeah. And so then how much was the prayer? I mean, were you praying to ask kind of how to go about go about life, what were you praying about, I guess?
Yeah, I always pray because a lot of people want to tell me how to raise my siblings and how to do this. I said no, because our mother, she trained me. So I raised them the way my mother raised me. And so, we stay in the church. So we never missed church. We went to all the different services, and I had them read the Bible too and study. And I told them, you be a good person, good will come to you. So everywhere they went, and I thank God for the phone calls. People say, oh, they're so mannerable. They always say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. They're so nice. They're so sweet and wonderful children. And I said, thank you. But I did threaten them though. Well, let me be honest. I did threaten them. I did tell them, I said, let me tell you, if I get a phone call and your teacher tell me you did something, I'm coming up there with my gown, my rollers, and my hot shoes. And then your friends is going to talk about you for the rest of the school year.
That worked.
See that.
Yeah, that worked. Like, okay, well, I don't want that to happen. And so when I was 20, there was, I don't know how I would have been able to do what you're doing. And I mean, yeah, when I was 20, I was like, did you have a clue kind of that's what you were wanting to do, or did that kind of change up what you were
going
to do? where you
I
wanted to be a
think
mother?
God had already set me up because when I was 9 years old, my mother was in a hospital. She supposed to have died then. And I
Oh,
prayed, and because she trained us as little bitty children how to pray. And we was already separated. We was in different homes. We couldn't see our little brothers and sisters and stuff. And I didn't like that feeling. So when we did come back together, I knew how that felt to be separated. And so when my mother did come back home, I had to help her a lot. I was the child that stayed in the house and take care of my siblings. So I was used to taking care of them. I was already used to taking them to the doctor and doing this and doing that. So I was being trained already of how to take care of them. So when this happened, I was already prepared. And also I was in college.
whoa.
Yes, I was in college raising children. So I was determined that I was going to do something for them. And I was determined to show them that no matter what happens, stay focused on what you're going to do and don't let anybody stop you. It might get hard sometimes, but it's okay. You got to stay focused. So I was at the College of Mount St. Joseph getting my associate's degree in early childhood. And I was raising my siblings.
I mean, it seems like you should get associate degree as well for raising the children as well. Get a second one there for that. And so I mean, you were, I don't know, that's a hard one because you were already there. And I mean, was it hard to go back and think that you sort of being, you said you're being trained almost to learn how to take care of your brothers and sisters. And so was that a while after that you realized that was something that, that you were happy that you were in that situation already? Or was that something that kind of came fast, or how did that work?
I think it made it easier for me because they knew me, I knew them. They knew what I wanted from them. So it wasn't like we was just learning how to just live together. And so it was okay. It wasn't thrown on me. And I believe if I didn't have that opportunity to already take care of them, it probably would have been hard because my mind would have said, well, how do I supposed to take care of these people? I don't know what to do. But I was already in that role of a mother, doing things for them, going to their school, talking to their teachers, taking them to the doctor, taking them here, catching the bus. And I was already doing that because my mother, she got real sick. Even though she got out the hospital, she still wasn't able to do a lot of stuff. So I was already doing that role. And being a tall girl that I am, a tall woman now, but I was always tall. A lot of people probably thought I was older. They probably didn't think I was that teenager taking care of children, but I always was tall. So to them, they probably no one never asked like, how old are you? No one asked. So they just
Well,
look
yeah.
at my height, you know. Mhm.
And I think if nobody's asking, that means that you're probably doing a pretty good job. I mean, if nobody's questioning what you're doing, you're doing something right there. So, I mean, because when I see something, one of those movies or something where this sort of event happens, it's never the protagonist is ready for it, and it's always they're off doing something totally out there, but then it's like, okay, well, we gotta bring them back in. But yours is so different, and it's just you were ready. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't. Do you ever think about, what your mom would be thinking if she saw you today? Does that ever come up?
Yeah, I always say I wish he was here, to see everybody, because everybody's just doing so wonderful. My baby sister is a nurse, and my baby brother is computer engineer, and my other brother is he's an engineer, but I can't remember the name of the engineer he is.
Yeah.
And so then my other sister that I didn't have to raise, she works in the medical field too, and I became an educator. So I've been teaching and working with children since 1990 on, and we didn't let anything stop us. And I just wish he was here to see this. And now we have our children, and it's just, and our children were successful. And I said my mom would have been happy. She would have been real happy.
And so is this story, is this going to end up going into book form, or is that something that you hold differently, or something? Go ahead.
I wrote the book, but it's not published yet.
Is it in the process of that, or are you not sure what you want to do with it yet?
I want to find someone who is going to help me transform that book into a movie. And yes, and
you have your spot there too. You have that different part, like I was saying, with that makes yours unique, that you are ready. And I mean, it sounds movie like already. So would that be something you'd be interested in as well? Would be adapting that into a screenplay, and then would you be writing that? Would you rewrite that to to add stage direction, or stuff of that nature, or would you have someone else help you on that part, or what do you?
I will probably I directed different little skits for the church before, different little plays.
Yeah.
But for something in my head, I see it like something big. I will actually need some help with that. But I'm excited because I know God's timing is everything, and hopefully He'll send somebody my way soon, and we'll just get this started, because the book is already written, and I'm just excited.
Yeah, and I mean, if the book's written, I mean, you have the story written, getting the rest of that, I mean, that's more just like going back to the outline. You already have the outline all done. It's just now just filling in the blanks in certain places. And I mean, that's pretty exciting to be able to have that. And so then here's a follow-up. So who do you see that would be playing yourself, or would you play yourself?
Oh, let me see. I don't know. I don't know. It would be nice if I play myself, but I don't know. I never asked. No one never asked that question.
Yeah, it's like, well, who could? I don't know, because it would be fun to, or
because maybe like Queen Latifah. I don't know.
Yeah. Because I mean, even if you have someone else playing you, you should at least be in there somewhere, even just as some character coming through, and as the Easter egg for the movie. And it's like, oh, it's Tamela, and I think that'd be pretty exciting. And so Yeah. So is that kind of what's looking like the next project for you?
Yes, yes. So I'm looking into that right now. I've been attending different meetings, try to see, what to do, how to do things. And when they talk about prices, I'm like, I said, Lord, you've been with me all this time, so I know you're gonna work that out too, because I don't got that kind of money.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I assume, there's always the crew, and you have that going there, and I assume there's some way to get something going that way. And yeah, people are gonna come to you for this movie. I see that one happening, and it's a good story. And so if people want to find out about you, find your books, find your podcast, anything else, where are they going to go?
They can type in my name, Tamela, Tamela, then Lucus, and they will find my podcast. They can find my Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff, my books, my music. You can find everything. Just type my name, you'll see everything pop up.
Okay, one follow-up question. So the as part of the over 40 club on TikTok, what do you do on TikTok?
Oh, I sing and I do my
Oh,
little
okay.
dance.
All right. Okay.
And
I
my
like
children laugh at me. My children say, Ma, you have no rhythm. I say, it don't matter. I'm having fun. Just learn
that.
how to have fun.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And yeah, as long as you're having fun and enjoying yourself, anything else is just it's whatever. It's not a big deal. If you're enjoying yourself, you're doing it right. And I like that a lot. And so, yeah, Tamela, thanks so much for being on again. Everybody and the crew has been great, and you lived up to it as well. So I thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Yeah, and
Thanks.
yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day and get to enjoy Monday. And yeah, we'll keep in touch. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. All right, you guys, that's Tamela Lucus. That was cool. I enjoyed getting to talk with her. Um, that movie, I mean, why wouldn't that be a movie? Like I said, every one of those movies, it's always, someone was gone for a long time. It's like, oh, you have to go and take care of so and so, come back, but you have no like there. And then it's always oh, I don't know how to do this, and that's always a big part of everything with that. And she's already there. She's already got it, and I, I think is going to be a good thing to see. And I'm happy I got to meet Tamela. And if you guys want to check her out, which you should buy her book and watch her sing and dance on TikTok, listen to her podcast. I think you're in some good shape. So that is, oh yeah, you guys, this is on the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network with other great shows. You can check out all the time on iHeartRadio. You can go on YouTube. This will be on YouTube because this one doesn't even have any swear words in it. So this will be on YouTube, or you can get it on Rumble, TV, or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. You can find this all over because Tamela is all over, and yeah, she's over with me. So, yeah, you guys. So, as I like to say, all kinds of things. I like to say this though, because that's the show, man. Boom.
It's Rusty Diamond.